So, I think it's about time I talk about the Farm Simulator Direct, which is what we're calling this now at this point, apparently. Also known as September 13th, 2022's Nintendo Direct. Which, let's get the elephant out of the room. The, 6 farming sims. Which, honestly, wasn't that many. When it comes to the stuff I'm interested in from this Direct, there's, easily, probably, at least 1.5 the amount of farming simulators that were in this Direct. Then again, there were a lot of farming sims, but also, I kind of appreciated the break between dying of excitement, because basically every announcement in between the farming sims probably could have killed me. I'm not joking, this Direct was amazing. Farming sims, bit excessive, but 1, I think it's funny, and 2, honestly, I appreciate the break. The reason I choose this farming sim as the background footage specifically is because it shares a very similar name to one of my favorite fictional characters. First, let's start off with the final thing. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the City. This looks really good. For clarification, if you weren't paying that much attention to the Direct, or were sleep deprived because Nintendo has a really bad habit of airing these Directs ridiculously early in the morning, at least where I live, Tears of the Kingdom is Breath of the Wild 2. We have a release date for Breath of the Wild 2. It's set for May, I think 13th, 2023. Yeah, it's May 12th. I was close. Sorry, just looking that up through my notes. But, early 2023, huh? When they delayed it, they literally delayed it to early 2023. It's not early. This may sound like a gripe. I'm just pointing this out. I genuinely don't care. This game looks fantastic. I'm super excited to play Tears of the Kingdom. I love Breath of the Wild. It's easily the best Zelda game they've ever released, and hopefully Tears of the Kingdom can top it. I'm still not used to calling it that, because I've been calling it Breath of the Wild 2 since it got formally announced at E3, I think 2021 or 2019. Point being, I'm super excited for this announcement. Next up is Tales of Symphonia's Remaster, which, 1, isn't a remaster and is just a port of Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, and 2, can we stop porting Tales of Symphonia Chronicles to everything, and then cutting out half the game? For clarification, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles is Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. I like one of those games. I don't like one of them. And this is why do we keep porting this? This is just Symphonia Chronicles. Just port Symphonia Chronicles. Yes, I know a lot of people don't like Symphonia 2, but also you can charge more, and I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Also, Symphonia 2 is actually worth it, and Tales of Symphonia, I'm gonna be completely blunt with you, it's a decent game and an awful Tales game. I just wanted to mention how let's continue to port Tales of Symphonia to everything and never touch the Chronicles release, which is what we're porting. Next up, something I called Splatoon 3's first formal Splatfest. Gear, grub, and fun. Now, please tell me, I know this is not happening, because this is something that, despite everyone complaining about it, please tell me that I fixed Tri-Turf. It was not fun, apparently, I didn't play it, and frankly, if I did, I probably would have played 2 games, realized I was only spawning in the center, and been pissed off and left. But, honestly, I couldn't tell you which one of these I'm picking. No, I genuinely don't know. I'm participating in this, I'm excited, but please fix Tri-Turf. Please, Nintendo. Now time for the thing that had my scream literally waking up the entire neighborhood, and also had the reaction, Arlo, are you okay? My reaction was pretty much, okay, Arlo just died. Pikmin 4. No, 1, the footage is slowed down for this. Mostly because we have like 30 seconds of footage. I need to stretch this out for like 5 minutes of talking. So, hope you enjoy this really slow panning shot of a bench. No, I am actually serious. I'm gonna be talking about this for a while. Now, my initial reaction when Miyamoto showed up in the Direct was, okay, so this is one of two things. Mario or Pikmin. People were saying we're probably going to see Pikmin, Punch-Out, or Metroid in the Direct. And, like, by the way, I'd love to see Punch-Out, like a sequel by the Punch-Out Wii development team. But here's the thing. When Miyamoto went on screen, my thought was, okay, it's Pikmin or Mario. Because Zelda's also an option, but he's not been in charge of that series for a while, so, you know. And then he's like, okay, so let's talk about Pikmin. I'm like, yes, oh my god, like, I screamed the second Miyamoto said Pikmin. And then he proceeded to talk about Pikmin Bloom for like 5 minutes. And in my mind, I'm just like, I hate you. I hate all of you at Nintendo. Now, I probably should have figured this was a fake out, because why would they be talking about Pikmin Bloom, which is a game I've spent like $20 on. I have not really played at all, and I gave it money solely to show I want this series to get a 4th game, or I guess 5th, or 6th now, if we're counting Bloom. But point being, Miyamoto literally just saying, let's talk about Pikmin, just basically caused me to wake up the whole neighborhood. And I am so freaking hyped for this game. They said 2023 and didn't really show any gameplay, so it's safe to assume that will be later in 2023. Since Pikmin 3 Deluxe released in October, I'd say around fall of 2023, which is a year away. But also, what's one more year? I've been asking for Pikmin 3 since 2013. Miyamoto said Pikmin 4 was almost done development in 2015. They hadn't announced it till today as of recording this. So, one more year of waiting is fine by me. I've been waiting long enough. Back in probably 2018 or so, I had completely given up on Pikmin 4 ever even happening. Like, obviously, I want to play this game now. I am so excited for this. But I'm going to be completely honest. One more year of waiting isn't that bad when you've been waiting this long. You're basically saying, hey, you've been waiting almost an entire decade. Do you mind waiting another year and making it a full decade? Like, would I rather have the product right now? Yes! But also, it exists. I had genuinely given up on Pikmin 4. This has probably been the game I've been waiting for the longest ever. And probably a lot of people, because it's been like 10 years. Assuming this game releases in 2023, doesn't get pushed forward or pushed back, it would have been about 10 years since Pikmin 3. So, the Pikmin community has been waiting a decade for this game. And I am so excited. I have been, like, actually actively refreshing YouTube to see Arlo's reaction to this. Because I know Arlo loves Pikmin probably more than I do, I'll be honest. And, like, I'm genuinely pretty sure he might be dead. Which, in all fairness, he has canonically died. But, genuinely, I am so excited. I can't wait. Pikmin 4 is a thing that is happening. I can probably make a whole 20-minute video about this. Like, you can go back to, like, the first year of my channel, and I have a video talking about predictions for Pikmin 4. You know, back when we had hope. Genuinely. I have been talking about predictions for this since, like, 2014, 2015. So I am so happy to have this. I'm totally gonna replay through the whole Pikmin series prior to this game releasing. Which I think I'll probably actually play the GameCube versions of 1 and 2, since I actually have only played the New Motion Plus versions of 1 and 2. So I'll probably play through the originals. But either way, We're finally getting Pikmin 4. A game I have wanted for nearly a decade and had genuinely given up hope of it existing. God, this section's long for like basically 2 PNGs and a logo. But I want to play this now, but I am fine with waiting. What's one more year? What's one more frickin' year? Anyway, N64 Expansion Pass, which, for clarification, don't have Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. But I'm talking about this more out of a... Can they legally re-release Mario Party? Like, the original. Because they got sued over that game. Like, Mario Party 2 and 3, I have no issues with. Hell, I love Mario Party 2. I have not played 3, but 2 is fantastic. And frankly, I would pay like $5 for the entire N64 Mario Party trilogy on the eShop, Nintendo. I really wish we had Virtual Console. But the reason I say this is because Nintendo genuinely got sued over the game. I don't think they're legally allowed to release it, and there's one thing, it's just like, why? Like, and they could re-release it with warnings, but also, what's the point of re-releasing a game if you're going to add a ton of extra stuff, basically saying, don't do something stupid that I am still going to do and not listen to you. Now, yes, they might be able to get away with it because Nintendo Switch controllers have more rubbery sticks. Like, if I were to do this, hell, even just comparing to an Xbox controller, which is still more plasticky, I could probably get a blister on the Xbox controller, and I definitely would on the N64. And this is coming from someone who actively does palm strat in games that want you to do that. Kirby's Dream Buffet? Okay, time to get a blister! Bug Fables? This is the most effective way to deal damage, and I'm being an idiot, but I don't care. Basically, I understand why people do it. Trust me, I do it myself. But I'm also wondering if Nintendo can do it. Obviously, again, it's less dangerous now with rubberized grips compared to this is literally hard plastic. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That name feels like such a missed opportunity. You could go with Kirby's Return to Dreamland. That is just so stupid and I love it. But by the way, I still hate King Dedede's redesign. I hated it in Forgotten Land. I hate it here. Like, genuinely, these cutscenes look worse in this game. Solely because I cannot stand this Club Penguin reject. Mecha looks like it could be an interesting new copy ability. And frankly, this was my first Kirby game. This is one of my favorites. Like, honestly, if I were to say my favorite Kirby game, I'm in between 4. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Kirby Planet Robobot, which isn't an unpopular opinion, Kirby Superstar Ultra, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Having 2.5 of those on the Switch is incredible. I say a half because you can play Superstar on the Switch. I specifically say Ultra because, like, it's more content. I would love for them to add a few levels, or really anything to this. It looks like it's just a flat port, which sucks. I mean, I'm buying it, but I would like something new. Be that an extra world, or just a remixed difficulty, or more than just you have one new copy ability. Next up, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. I still really wish these things looked better than they do, but they are actually progressively looking decent. Certain textures in Merry Mountain actually don't look that bad. Although arguably they should probably just copy and paste the Mount Wario textures for the snow and stuff. I don't know, feel these feel. But also, I don't care that much about visuals. I'm not that much of a visual person. If the game's fun to play, that's all I need. I can't say much about Merry Mountain because, yes, I've played it in Mario Kart Tour. I played Mario Kart Tour for a very, very, very brief time. But also, I'm going to continue to say this, just get all the Mario Kart Tour tracks out of the way. Just, please. I genuinely would not mind if, like, 6 of the tracks in this were the Tour tracks, just so we can get them out of the way. Instead of having to see, like, 3 of them every single way. I just want them done with. And then there's one I specifically want, because it's based on the country where I live. But I also don't know if there's multiple. Basically, there's also ones that, and this is speaking for myself, too. I'm sure people who live in a country, like, I'm pretty sure there's probably some sort of England, London one. I'm sure British people would love to see that level. I would love to see the Canada one. Basically, just get them out of the way. We're all sick of seeing these. Mario Kart Tour is not a game of your life. There's a good reason. It has gotcha hell. Octopath Traveler 2 looks neat. I haven't played the original, so I don't have much to say. And I'm just gonna let Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Open here, since we've gotten so many trailers for that. It wasn't that interesting to see, but I just figure I should address those two just quickly. Xenoblade 3's newest hero. One, I'm just gonna address some things that I picked up based on the Xenoblade Twitter, because that is in Japanese. But one, she's a defender, which is really good. I didn't see any evidence to say which. Again, I cannot read Japanese, and I was too lazy. And I don't want to be spreading information from Google Translate, because that is literally what Twitter's translate button uses. Basically, I think she's Agnian, but I don't want to be misspreading information because it isn't in English, and I can't read Japanese. But I'm excited for challenge mode. Costumes look fine. New hero looks really interesting. It looks like to power her up, you use ether cylinders. Something I've had 99 of since like hour 2. I'm serious, you get way too many. New silhouette of the new hero looks interesting. I kind of wish Wave 2 and 3 were wrapped into one, because they feel very much the same and half-baked separately, at least from what we've announced. But either way, my biggest complaint with this was I already made a video talking about speculation for the DLC. We didn't have any information on it yet. That video is supposed to release 2 weeks from now. So I've just had to go back in after the video is already uploaded, already fully edited, add an addendum at the start of the video, and then I have to move my scheduling around to get that video this week, so it at least makes some sanctum of sense. Yes, my biggest problem with this trailer is literally it makes my life slightly more inconvenient. But either way, I'm really excited to have a new hero. I'm so happy it's a defender. Defenders are underrepresented. It makes a good chunk of that video kind of useless, but they're still cool ideas if you guys want to hear them. But honestly, I'm excited. I like it. And lastly, the first thing, because apparently I can't count, or just did this direct in pseudo backwards order. Fire Emblem Engage, which one? Ooh, look at all the heroes. It looks like we're getting all the lords, which is really cool. I kind of knew this game was coming, although my initial reaction to the trailer was, is this a spin-off or a main game? Because I genuinely couldn't tell with all the heroes. But the gameplay looks fun. I'm excited for the game. It's coming out a lot sooner than I would expected, considering we literally just got a Fire Emblem game this year. Yes, I know 3 Hopes is technically a spin-off, but I feel like it would have made more sense, because I think 3 Houses was 2018. Like, 3 Houses 2018, 3 Hopes 2020, 2021, this game 2023. Not having essentially 2 Fire Emblem games in the span of 6 months. Because I have not finished 3 Hopes yet. Because I do not want to play through 3 campaigns back to back. But apparently, I need to do that now, because this is releasing in January! But also, I love the idea of having returning lords. I do question what they're going to do with games with multiple lords. For example, the Talius games. So you could probably get away with both, because that is technically 2 games, and you have Ike and Micaiah. Or, here's a good example. Blazing Blade. The trailer shows Lyn. What about Hector and Elowood? And here's an interesting one. Fates. That has like 3 lords. But is 1 game. But is also 3 games. Or Shadows of Valentia. They've already confirmed Celica, so I would hope they would have Ulm. Either way, if they were going to have either, I'm glad they chose Celica. Celica is my favorite lord in the whole series. Just for clarification. This game looks really good. I really like the protagonist design. They're probably my favorite in a while. Which is weird, because apparently a lot of people hate it. But also, if you're going to give me any character... Like, this is a question for both you in the comments, if you won't answer it. What Fire Emblem character do you guys want to see become an emblem in Fire Emblem Engage? Personally, I think that answer is obvious. Faye! Which isn't happening, she isn't a lord. But I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. Because she doesn't have a 3D model, and I insist on getting her modded into Smash. Fire Emblem Engage looks really good. I'm really excited for it. It's releasing a lot sooner than I really expected. And I think that's the final thing I have to say. What did you guys think of this Direct? I think I just rambled on for about 20 minutes on a 40-minute Direct. And people complained that it was mostly farming sims. Everything I just talked about was the stuff I'm interested in, specifically. I'm mostly an RPG person, so if the Direct was the Farm Sim Direct, I think there was very little Farm Sim compared to Pikmin and Fire Emblem. And please, stop porting Tales of Symphonia Chronicles to everything. Especially if you're going to exclude half the package. Because again, 1, it's not a remaster. 2, it is literally a port of the Steam port, which itself is a port of the Chronicles port, except for the fact the Steam port's missing half of the Chronicles port. Also known as play Symphonia if you haven't and it looks fun. I just question why they keep releasing the Chronicles release without half of the release, if that makes sense. But yeah, what hero do you guys want to see? What do you want the next, like, as an emblem in Fire Emblem Engage? What do you want the new hero to be like in Xenoblade 3? What are the other 6 tracks you want to see in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Pass course? Basically, talk about whatever the hell you want in this Direct. As long as you aren't calling it bad, which I think most people were calling it bad because of how many farm sims there were, which I will give you this. There was an excessive amount of farm sims. But still, I genuinely don't think there was much of a dull moment even with the farm sims, because when the farm sims were going on, my brain is still like, oh my god, they just announced new farm. Like, Pikmin. I'm still riding the Pikmin high. Let's note, I should be exhausted, because I woke up 2 hours early to see this stupid Direct. And I'm glad I did. But still, I should be exhausted. I had 6 hours of school. I woke up 2 hours early, which also means I got 2 hours less sleep. So I should be exhausted, and I'm still riding a Pikmin high. By the way, like, genuinely, check out Pikmin if you haven't. It's a really fun RTS. It was one of my first games that I ever beat. I love it. It's fantastic. Also, if you're still here and enjoyed hearing me ramble on for who knows how long, consider subscribing, because you clearly like hearing me ramble about Nintendo stuff, which is mostly what I do.